In today's video, I will show you the most common mistake I see beginners, intermediate, competition players do, and how to avoid this mistake. I will show you some drills you can do and what you need to do technical. My name is Patrik Broddfelt, a tennis coach from Norway. Okay, so what is the most common mistake I see a tennis player do? Well, that is hitting into the net. You should always avoid hitting into the net, especially during warm-up or when you are playing a match. I see my adults, competition players warming up in a service box, and after 3 minutes, there are 4 or 5 balls into the net. Shouldn't happen. I mean, you're standing on service box. Every ball should be over the net. And then they move back to the baseline. 10 minutes, there will be 10 balls in the net. That's 10 easy mistakes. So how do we avoid this common mistake? Well, I'm going to show you my favorite drill I use for my players. As you can see, the camera is in the same height as me. If I want to aim right here, notice you have to watch through the net to aim that ball over here. Instead of aiming on the court over there, you should put up a target over the net. Okay? So if you're hitting down the line, you should put a target here to aim over there. If you're hitting forehand cross court, you should put a target here over the net. That's how you avoid the net, hitting into the net. Put targets up here, not through the net on the court. Let me show you my favorite drill. So my favorite drill is by using some painting sticks I picked up, and I put rope, and I will have some cords here, and I will put this on the net, so the net will be higher. So this cost you a couple of bucks at a depot store. You can also buy an air zone, I believe it's called. I will link it in the description. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I just put this stick onto the net post with some cords. The height of this net is roughly a racket, 2 feet or something, 2 feet plus. So you can make this even higher or lower. It's really up to you how high you want to hit. So the most common mistake I see, as I said, is hitting into the net. But the reason for that is because they're aiming here. I have a lot of beginners, they think they should aim the ball here. And better players as well. If you do that, the ball will land on the service line. It's really difficult to get good depth of a ball if you're aiming here. And the second reason is 1 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 will go into the net. So even if you aim here, some balls will go here, some balls will go up here. It's really difficult to hit this chord every time. So you will have a margin of error. But if you're aiming here, your margin of error will hit into the net a lot of times. So start practicing hitting higher over the net. So when I put this rope, a lot of my players are saying, well, Patrik, I don't want to be a pusher. I don't want to moonball the ball. That's not what I mean by having a higher net. If you're watching professional players, they have great margins over the net. Yes, they're putting more spin on the ball, but as a beginner, you're not hitting that hard. So the higher up you hit the ball, the deeper the ball will be. And that's what we want. We want to push your opponent backwards. Because then you get a short ball, and then you can aim lower, and you can hit a drop shot. You can do so much more with the ball. So if I hit with no topspin, beginner shot, you see high over net. Okay, it went a little bit out, I hit a little bit lower. That's how you get great depth on the ball. So if you're starting hitting out, what should you do? Well, you have to hit with some topspin. How do you get topspin on the ball? Well, you have to get the racket below the ball and brush up on it and finish high. So you go from low to high. I don't want you to get your arm this far down. You should have your arm at waist height and you drop the racket. Dropping the racket head, not the arm, okay? So you have your arm at waist height and you're dropping it. If you're making contact up here, you're dropping it still. And then you brush up. That's how you make topspin on ball. It's the same on the backhand. If you drop it, don't drop your arms, drop your racket head and brush up on the ball. Brush up on the ball. That's how you get topspin on the ball. You can either hit with a partner, ball machine, playing points, saying that every shot should be over this chord. If for some reason you or your opponent hits into the service box, you're allowed to hit beneath the height. But you can get out on the court and practice like I'm doing now, self-feeding. You can standing out here and hitting forehand cross court. Okay, I want to hit that ball over there. So aiming high over net. So when you're hitting the topspin shot, if this is a yellow cord over there, you want your ball to be at the highest, just over the cord, and then you want the ball to dip as fast as possible. What I want you to do now, every time you get out onto the courts, aim over the net. Make targets. Compete against yourself to never hit into the net, especially in a warm-up or when you're playing points. Next time you watch a professional match, watch how many balls are into the net. Count them. Okay, so you get a ball, short ball, somewhere around here, you have to move into the court. Here, you shouldn't aim too high over the net, because then the ball will go out, especially if you're hitting it above the net height. Then you want your ball to travel beneath here. So if I'm standing here, I want the ball to go here. So as you can see, shorter balls, you're aiming lower. When I have racket height over the net, that's where I'm standing around here. So for every meter or 2 meters I go back, I had to raise that height. Okay, so if this is a level, I want to build 1 racket length up. So I have to hit this high over. And I move back again. I have to hit even higher over net. Because I want the ball to be as deep as possible. If I aim low, it will either go into the net or be a short ball. So when I move it back, I want to hit the ball higher. The swing will be bigger and higher over the net. For me to be able to get that ball deep. And then I can start over again, hit my regular neutral shot. When I'm closing in, I can take bigger risk and get lower over net. So when I hit flatter, stepping into the court, I can aim a little bit lower. But you should still have margins of error. So don't aim at the net court, aim over, okay? Remember that first thing I said? Make a box you want to aim through, over the net. Pick targets. The nice things about these sticks is that you can put it like this as well. So sometimes I just put a stick like this. I'm telling my students, aim at this top. So that's another great drill. So by aiming here, I can put it on different places. Takes me 5 seconds to put up. So roughly at this height. You can make it lower, you can make it higher. That's a nice thing about this one. It's easy to do, it's just going up and down. So those are my best tips for avoiding hitting into the net. Remember, the game of tennis is about mistakes. What I mean about that? If you want to win a match, you have to avoid making mistakes. Most of the points in a tennis match is because somebody on the court had made a mistake, especially among juniors, beginners, at all levels really. Some professional matches might be some winners, more winners than mistakes, but that's rarely. And at beginners, junior level, there won't be that many winners. But those are the points that you're remembering. I know that. I know the good feeling of hitting a winner. But what you should really focus on is putting pressure on your opponent, having great depth on the ball, hit high over the net into bigger targets. Then you will win more matches.